At the beginning of this story, we see some fishermen catching crabs in the ocean. In that area, many dolphins are playing. One dolphin accidentally comes near a crab trap. Then we see an 11-year-old boy named Sawyer, who always seems lost. He doesn't have any friends and only spends time with his cousin brother Kyle. But Kyle is about to join the army the next day, so he has organized a farewell party. However, Sawyer doesn't attend the party and instead starts fixing his helicopter in the garage. Kyle comes to him and tells him that summer has started, and he can't spend the entire summer alone like this. He should go out and make new friends. Sawyer says there's no need for that. Kyle explains that he's not going to disappear like Sawyer's dad. He's just going to be in the army for a while. Kyle was a great champion swimmer. Sawyer says he thought Kyle was going to try for the Olympics. Kyle says he wanted that too, but training costs a lot of money, and joining the army will help him earn some. He gives Sawyer a gift, a multi-tool. Sawyer is happy to see it because it means he can now work on things anywhere. Kyle says he should come with him to the party, but Sawyer refuses. The next morning, when Sawyer wakes up, he sees that Kyle has already left to join the army. This makes him feel disappointed. He takes his bicycle and heads to school since his summer school was ongoing. Meanwhile, near the sea, a man is seen fishing when he spots a dolphin near the shore. When he gets closer, he sees that the dolphin is trapped in a crab cage, with wounds on its tail and tied up. Just then, the man sees Sawyer and calls him over for help. He asks if Sawyer has a phone and uses it to call the Clearwater Marine Hospital. Just then, the fishing rod falls into the water, so the man runs to retrieve it. Sawyer goes near the dolphin and sees that it's very distressed. He gently touches its body and uses his multi-tool to cut through the trap and remove the ropes. The dolphin starts to see him as a friend and makes a clicking sound. At that moment, the rescue team from Clearwater Marine Hospital arrives. With them is a young girl named Hazel, who is the daughter of Dr. Clay. They quickly remove the surrounding sand and lift the dolphin into their vehicle. Hazel tells Sawyer she's glad he helped the dolphin. Sawyer is late for school and gets scolded by the teacher, who tells him he needs to focus on his studies. After school, Sawyer rushes to the Clearwater Marine Hospital, but the door is locked, so he enters through the back. Inside, there's a large aquarium housing many different animals. Sawyer doesn't see anyone around, but then a white pelican appears. He gets scared and tries to leave, but bumps into Hazel, causing the box of fish she was holding to fall. The pelican quickly starts eating the fallen fish. Hazel tries to stop it, but it doesn't listen. Sawyer helps her gather the fish again. Hazel tells him the pelican's name is Rufus because it stays on the roof. As Sawyer is about to leave, Hazel stops him and says she knows he came to see the dolphin. Sawyer doesn't say much. Hazel says she can take him to see the dolphin, but her dad must not find out, as he doesn't allow anyone near the sick animals. Sawyer asks if the dolphin has eaten. Hazel says she can't eat yet because her condition is very fragile. She named the dolphin Winter because earlier they had two dolphins named Summer and Autumn who were released back into the ocean after recovering. Hazel thought naming dolphins after seasons would bring luck. She takes Sawyer to the pool where two dolphins named Krishna and Puma are kept. Hazel says these dolphins are smarter than humans. Sawyer waves at them, and they seem happy, which makes him happy too. Hazel then takes him to the restricted area where the sick animals are kept. They hide behind some equipment. Hazel tells him that since Winter arrived, she hasn't moved or even opened her eyes. Just then, they accidentally knock something over, and Phoebe, a dolphin specialist, discovers them. She asks who the boy is and reminds Hazel that her dad doesn't like strangers around. Hazel says she knows, but explains that Sawyer is the one who rescued the dolphin from the trap and removed the ropes. Phoebe says Winter's condition is very serious. The circulation in her tail is not working and there's no blood flow. Just then, Winter opens her eyes and makes a clicking sound upon hearing Sawyer's voice. Dr. Clay is about to arrive, so Hazel quickly takes Sawyer out to avoid her dad getting mad. Sawyer leaves and goes back home, where he starts researching dolphins in his workshop. The next day, after school, he rushes back to the marine hospital. He sneaks into the restricted area again to see Winter. Dr. Clay is telling his team that Winter's tail has developed a severe infection and there are many dead tissues in her body, making her lose the will to live. Rufus the pelican starts bothering Sawyer, and in trying to get rid of it, Dr. Clay notices him and asks who he is and how he got in. Hazel tells him he's the boy from the beach. Dr. Clay says he knows the rules. No outsiders allowed in that part of the hospital. Phoebe then says Winter is awake and making the sound of a TVT bird. Hazel says she makes that sound for Sawyer. Dr. Clay begins to believe that Sawyer might be giving Winter the hope to live. So, he allows Sawyer to come near Winter. When Sawyer touches her, Winter seems to like it. Hazel tells her dad that Winter really likes Sawyer, so they should let him keep coming. Dr. Clay agrees. Now, Sawyer wakes up early, excited to see Winter, but instead of going to school, he heads straight to the hospital. No one is there when he arrives. Upstairs, he finds Hazel crying. She tells him that Winter's condition has worsened. Her tail was so damaged they had to remove it. Sawyer says her tail is how she swims. If she can't swim, how will she survive? Doctors explain they had no other option and that Winter's chances of survival are now very slim. Hazel takes Sawyer to her grandpa's boat to cheer him up. They enjoy lemon ice together. Hazel asks what Sawyer's dad does. He says he doesn't know. His dad disappeared 5 years ago and was never heard from again. Hazel gets emotional and shares that her mom passed away when she was 7. Then she takes him to the top of the boat, and they talk. The next day, Sawyer returns to see Winter. Dr. Clay is trying to feed her a recovery formula, but she refuses. As soon as Sawyer touches her, she becomes happy. Dr. Clay realizes Winter feels better when Sawyer is around, so they let him enter the pool. Sawyer and Hazel begin caring for Winter. Meanwhile, Dr. Clay attends a board meeting where Gloria and others explain that the hospital is drowning in debt. In the last 2 months, they've lost their biggest donors and now have nothing left. Their only option is to sell the place. They've received an offer from Philip Worden, a luxury real estate developer. They could move the animals elsewhere and repay their loans. Dr. Clay doesn't like the idea. Back at the hospital, he tries to feed Winter again, but she refuses. Sawyer gently explains to Winter that he understands she's sick, but she has to eat if she wants to get better. Still, she resists. Then he jokingly tells her that it's very tasty. Eventually, Winter starts drinking it. Hazel and the others are very happy to see this. When Sawyer returns home, his mother, Lorraine, is furious because he hasn't been to school in 7 days. He smells like fish, so she sends him to take a bath. Sawyer tells her he's not going to school tomorrow either. Winter needs him. The next day, he takes his mom to the marine hospital so she can see what's so important to him. Sawyer gives her a full tour and talks about all the fish and animals. Lorraine becomes emotional and realizes how connected he's become with the animals. Then Sawyer takes her to meet Winter and tells her he doesn't want to go to school during the summer. He'll take extra classes next year. Lorraine agrees because she sees that he's gaining a kind of knowledge here that he could never get at school. The next day, when Sawyer comes out, Lorraine has brought him new swimming clothes, which makes him very happy. He goes back to caring for Winter with Hazel. Suddenly, Winter starts pulling away from them. They try to stop her, but she doesn't listen. To their surprise, Winter begins swimming without her tail, using a side-to-side motion. She's crawling and managing to swim. Everyone is overjoyed. Sawyer brings some of his toys for Winter, and the three of them, Sawyer, Hazel, and Winter, become great friends. Sawyer even helps around the hospital, and he's very happy. But when he returns home, he finds his mom and aunt crying. He immediately understands something must have happened to Kyle. His mom tells him there was a terrible explosion during a mission, and Kyle got injured, but he's okay. His aunt says Kyle is returning today, but Kyle doesn't come home. Instead, he goes straight to the hospital because he hurt his spine and can't walk anymore. Everyone is upset that Kyle didn't come home. Sawyer also feels hurt. Lorraine tells him that Kyle didn't come home and went to the hospital instead. Sawyer says, "We're his family, and he didn't even want to see us. I wanted to show him something." Sawyer is feeling very low, so Dr. Clay lets him stay overnight at the hospital. While talking that night, Sawyer asks Dr. Clay, "Do dolphins remember things, like the ocean or their family?" Dr. Clay says it's hard to say, but dolphins are very smart. Some people think they're smarter than us. Hazel asks her date to tell a story. Clay agrees and shares that the people of the Sumas tribe believe that long ago, their goddess Tash wanted the people living on the island to come and settle on the mainland. So she built a bridge out of a rainbow to help them cross happily. But while playing, some children fell from the rainbow into the ocean. Tash saved those children and enjoyed watching them play so much that she turned them into dolphins so they could always keep playing. Now, he gives Sawyer a dolphin-shaped ring that he made himself, and Sawyer really likes it. Winter wanted to play with Sawyer too, so she splashed water on him. When Sawyer came to give her a toy, she made him fall into the water. From then on, the two started playing and splashing around happily. The next day, Sawyer teaches Hazel how to fly a helicopter, but she loses control and the helicopter crashes. That's when Phoebe comes and informs them that something has happened to Winter. Dr. Clay shows her x-ray and explains that without a tail, her muscles have enlarged and are putting pressure on her spine because a dolphin's tail is designed to move up and down, not side to side. Sawyer says this is the only way she can swim now. How could it get any worse? Dr. Clay explains that a dolphin's spine is just like a human's. It controls breathing, heartbeat, and everything else. If she keeps swimming like this, she won't survive for long. Sawyer is very upset. He and his mom visit Kyle at the Veterans Affairs Hospital, where Dr. McCarthy is preparing to fit Kyle with a back brace. Kyle isn't happy to see Sawyer because he doesn't want to meet anyone now, but McCarthy encourages him to talk normally. He then leaves to get breakfast. Sawyer and Kyle go outside. Kyle explains that his back was injured, so he can't walk on his own. His left leg works, but the right one doesn't. Sawyer asks if he'll ever walk again. Kyle replies that maybe with a brace, but he'll never be able to swim again, which makes him sad and he leaves. Sawyer notices Dr. McCarthy and thinks he's made prosthetic legs for many people. Maybe he can help Winter too. Sawyer goes to him and makes a request. He brings him to Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Dr. McCarthy examines Winter and says that her skin is as soft as damaged silk. He's puzzled because even if they make a prosthetic tail, there's no clear way to attach it. No one has ever made an artificial limb for a fish before. He says, anyone in their right mind wouldn't do this. But luckily, I'm a little crazy too, so I'll try. Everyone is thrilled. He says that his vacation is starting soon, so he can't make any promises, but he'll give it his best. Even the dolphin splashes him with water because she started to like him too. Now they begin researching dolphins and gathering data. After many days of effort, they prepare a model for the prosthetic tail. Dr. Clay doesn't have any money, as the aquarium is already drowning in debt. So McCarthy calls a supplier from Hanger Prosthetics and Orthotics and convinces them to make custom parts for free. On their way home, they see that Kyle is upset because his swimming records have been broken by his teammate Don. He's heartbroken, thinking he'll never compete in the Olympics. McCarthy approaches him and explains, "You always dreamed of the Olympics, but now you must dream a new dream. There are millions of things to do in this world." Kyle says, "I'm useless now. I'm broken." McCarthy breaks a glass and says, "This is broken. You're just hurt. You should go home now." Kyle understands. The next day, McCarthy shows everyone the homemade model tail and says they'll use this until the real one is ready. They attach it to Winter, but she rejects it and breaks it by smashing it into the pool wall. Everyone is very disappointed, including McCarthy. Later, when Dr. Clay goes to his room, he learns from the news that a storm is approaching. He quickly starts bringing all the aquarium equipment inside. The weather gets worse, and Sawyer helps him, but Laurel takes Sawyer home. Kyle also returns home. The storm rages, destroying everything. Sawyer is terrified, but Laurel reassures him that they are safe inside. The next morning, the storm is over, but Clearwater Marine Hospital is badly damaged, including their rescue van. Dr. Clay is worried because the aquarium was already in debt. He starts repairing everything. Kyle also arrives. Sawyer is happy to see him. Kyle says, "I thought you might need my help." Sawyer hugs him. Sawyer introduces everyone to his cousin Kyle and takes him to see Winter. Kyle is touched when he sees Winter's missing tail, realizing her condition is like his. A meeting is held at Clearwater Marine Aquarium. They calculate that the storm caused a $500,000 loss, which they can't recover. Gloria says they need to find new homes or other aquariums for all their animals so they can shut down this place. There's no other option. Everyone agrees. Gloria also tells Clay that they've found homes for all the animals. Clay asks, "What about Winter?" Gloria says, "No one wants to adopt a disabled dolphin, so we'll have to put her down to avoid further suffering. There's nothing else we can do." Dr. Clay tells Hazel and Sawyer, and both are heartbroken. They insist there must be a way to save Winter. Dr. Clay says they have no money. Sawyer leaves, disheartened. Just then, a car arrives with a lady and her disabled daughter who came all the way from Atlanta after hearing about Winter. The daughter says, "This dolphin is just like me." Sawyer gets an idea. He tells Dr. Clay, "What if we start a program called Save Winter Day? Then everyone will learn about Winter and might donate." That lady came from so far just to see Winter. When more people hear, they'll help. We can organize a big carnival and create a website with a 24-hour live cam of Winter. Clay dismisses the idea as childish, but his father convinces him. "Even if Winter dies, you must do everything you can to save her." Clay understands and goes to Sawyer's house, saying he'll support his idea. Sawyer is overjoyed. Now Hazel, Sawyer, and the entire staff begin preparing for Save Winter Day and create the website. They also install a camera over Winter's pool so people can watch her live. The news spreads, and reporters start covering the story that Winter needs help getting a prosthetic tail and a carnival is being organized. Even Philip Horton sees the news. Soon, Sawyer and others finish preparations. Dr. McCarthy brings a new prosthetic tail and fits it to Winter, but she rejects this one too and breaks it. Everyone is heartbroken again. When Sawyer is alone with Winter, he talks to her and realizes that her soft skin is causing friction with the tail's sock. He tells Dr. Kyle that instead of hardening it, they need to make it smoother. The carnival begins and is packed with thousands of people. The next day, McCarthy brings a very soft sock. He says, "I tried many different formulas and finally made this jelly-like sock, which he named Winter's Gel." They apply it to Winter, and this time, she accepts the prosthetic tail and swims beautifully. Everyone is overjoyed. At the carnival, a swimming race is held between Kyle and Don, which everyone eagerly watches. Don is the state champion, and Kyle is swimming despite not being able to walk. People cheer for Kyle. He thanks everyone and says, "I'm not the reason you're here. It's all because of my cousin Sawyer." Sawyer tells the crowd, "Winter is like family to me. She's our friend, and family is forever." Everyone is emotional and claps for him. Kyle and Don begin the race, but Kyle faints midway. Winter is released into the water and speeds ahead, overtaking Don. Everyone is thrilled, and the kids start splashing around. Philip Horton is there with his grandchildren. Seeing all this, he's deeply moved. He tells Clay, "Even though I bought this place, you're doing something wonderful here. So I won't build a hotel. You can run this place however you like, and I'll also fund your operations." Everyone is overjoyed. Sawyer celebrates by playing with Winter. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to this channel.